G'day everyone, it's David, the person behind my touring adventures. Bit of an intro to me, why I started, my setup, done a little bit about the setup. A Hilux 2018, last of the N80 models, I think it is. It's a June, almost 6 years or so I've had it, 18, yeah. Yeah, so setup's just a 2.4 litre turbo diesel, so it's a baby one, which is fine, I don't mind. It was more or less, my lease was running out on my car. All the Toyota shops at the time were basically waiting for the new one. They didn't want to bring any of the old ones in, and they basically said wait or nothing. And then I went to City Toyota up at Chatswood, and they said they've got one and we'll bring it in. Yeah, if I waited though, it would have meant that I had no car for 3 months, which was no good, seeing I'm self-employed. So that's how I end up with this. A lot of the upgrades are all TJM through Glenn at Northern Beaches, which is a 2-inch lift, bull bar, the Outback series. I got side steps, rock slides, whatever they call them, which are great. I got partial GVM through the 2-inch lift benching kit that I do. So I got 3 250, I think I'm allowed to go to now, instead of 3 ton. Yeah. The other ones I've done is I've got the big canopy on the back through MRT, mate rate, which is the 2.4 by metre high, which is great. I like it. Yes, it's, from what I've been told, they're about 220 kilos, which takes a fair bit of my load out. What I can't take, it's still great. And I've got a water tank under the bottom, 50 litres. I've also got a long-range ARB long-range Frontier fuel tank, 140 litres. So I ripped out the old one. It's 140 litres. When it says it's empty, I'm down. I've used 120 usually, and I've got about 20 litres left, which is still good. Still know that I can go a little bit further. Not that you want to push it much, but usually what I do is I watch the speedometer, trip meter is, sort of work out where I can go for fuel. Not that I push it. Why I started this, around about 2015, suffered a big bout of major depression. Still suffering a little bit. Used to run my own business, doing small renos on the Northern Beaches. I don't do that anymore. I closed it all down last year, end of 2000 or the middle of 2023. Pretty much started my last job. I only had 3 guys working for me at the time. I did have quite a few throughout the depression, but I realised that I wasn't doing any good, and I wasn't doing any good, the business wasn't doing any good, and I made the decision to slowly pull it back, so there was only a few of us, hopefully do quite a quality work, not quantity, which was working out, but I still didn't feel right about the whole thing, and going through a divorce as well. Sort of made the decision, right, that's it, I'm closing it down. My parents, at the time, Dad suffers from dementia, which is getting, not bad, but it's getting reasonably. Don't give him too many things to do. You go more than 1 or 2 things, and the 3rd or 4th thing, he's forgotten what the 1st and 2nd one is. So, which is what happens to him. I pretty much finished all my work up in Sydney. Before I finished it all up, when I made the decision to finish all my work up in Sydney, I had told my parents that I'll move down the coast. They live in Ulladulla. We used to live there back in 2000, and shortly after we moved down, they moved down. And then we went to Canberra for a couple of years, and then back up to Sydney because there was no work around down the south coast. But my parents, I told them that I'll move down and help them out. So at the moment, I work whenever I can. I help them out, take them to appointments if I can. Just day-to-day things, you know. I do a bit. They do a bit for me as well in return. You know, I'll put washing out. I did on this trip before I left. They'll probably have brought it in for me, even though I tell them not to, but they still do. Yeah, so they're at a point where probably maybe this time next year to Christmas 2025, Dad will probably get reasonably bad that he probably has to go into a home, full-time care. Mum already loses a bit of a sanity over it, but it is what it is. So until then, I'm down the south coast. I take off and do bits and pieces when I can. Go driving, go camping like I'm doing. At the moment, I'm down at Bendethra. Unfortunately, I can't get over the river because it had been raining cats and dogs the last week, Wednesday night through to Saturday morning. We got some shocking amount of rain, so the river's up pretty high. I'm not one to cross a high river, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm on the southern side, just camping down here tonight, and I'll pack up and then head back home later on. Yeah, I get out, go camping, metal detecting, gold prospecting. Not that I've done much. I've done a little bit. Between mum and dad and work, aren't able to put a lot of time into it. Because that's what it is. It's time. You put time in, you get the reward. The sluicing, I do a little bit of that. But unfortunately, digging away, I've got a back injury, lower back, and it actually irritates that twisting motion of digging. So I get a day, 2 days of good work digging bucket loads of gravel out of a creek, and I cactus afterwards. So I end up, that's all I can do is a couple of days, and then I can't do anything for about a week until it dies down. Metal detecting, been to Hill End around there, Sophia, Wattle Flats, down to Bendigo. South coast, there's quite a few spots around the south coast, but vegetation is very low, dense scrub after the 2019-20 fires. It's hard to find an open patch that you can detect with. So I don't generally do it much on the south coast. Future, hopefully be able to do this a lot more. While Dad, Mum down the south coast, I'll keep on going, doing my thing, camping, fishing, going away, kayaking, bit of filming, eventually bring out some stickers. Like every other bastard that's been doing the work, they all bring out something. You know, t-shirts, hoodies, you know, or they end up pliers to give them stuff to sell, try out. Maybe not. Probably not photogenic enough for that. But once Mum and Dad done, I'm gonna, depending on how my savings are, take off. I've got a few things that I want to do. I want to go down to Victoria and spend some time down there around the goldfields. I want to go to WA as well, try there. Basically just tour around, show off sites, local areas, things to see and do. I've got to go to Geraldton. Pop's brother was on the Sydney when it went down. He was even though the Sydney was a diesel powered ship, I found out, he was classed as a stoker, which was in the engine room, I would say. He was normally on smaller ships, but he was over in WA. Somehow he managed to get a gig transfer onto the Sydney before it took off from Perth, and was never seen again, unfortunately. So I got to go over to Geraldton. My pop passed away shortly before they announced, or they found the Sydney, I should say. And he always wondered where his brother was. So I'm going to head over there, see the museum for the Sydney in Geraldton. Geraldton? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Geraldton. And basically pay my respects. Yeah. I'm going to try to keep on going up around the coast and back down the east coast, see whatever I can see. Yeah. After that, don't know. I've got 5 kids. I inherited 4 from a previous marriage with my wife, and which are great. I've known them most of their lives. The youngest one's Pat. He's 87. He was born. Known him since 89, 90s sort of thing. So a long time, and we've also had one as well. And they helped me out with artwork, so my new logo I've got, they helped with that. Bit of a long process, while that's all, going backwards and forwards with ideas, and we ended up finding that that works. I like it, and slightly different to what we started out with, but it still works. I like it. Yeah, that's a bit about me. I basically, people might ask why I've got my hair the way it is and my beard. I stopped cutting it and shaving it when I started with my depression as something to distract me. So sometimes I'll be doing this, thinking, whatever. But yeah, I've gotten to grow with it. I like it, so I won't be coming off anytime soon. Yeah, I am a carpenter by trade. Started my apprenticeship in 86. Did my certificate 4 in building studies, finished that in 99. Got my builder's license in 2005. I don't know anything else. I thought I'd try this. So yeah, that's me. That's a bit of me. I'm toying with the idea of lightweight setups, whether I go around Australia just with my car, or whether I end up building my trailer a bit more and taking that as well. Trailer would be great. I could use it as a base, but I could also be away for a lot longer as well. It's also got a dual battery setup in it. It's also got 60 litres, 70 litres of water underneath as well. And it's also got my Hobie kayak on it and a rooftop tent, and then plenty of storage in underneath. So I'm just weighing up ideas. I wouldn't mind a longer drawbar on it because it's pretty short. But we'll see. But yeah, that's a bit about me. Hope you hope I did alright. Like and subscribe, that'd be great. And I'll speak to you next time.